Welcome back, FIFA fans! Today we'll be taking a look at one of the best gameplay mods developed for FC25, the comprehensive Anthony James Realistic gameplay mod. While FC25 has been a step in the right direction regarding improvements on the pitch, it's still lacking in areas that depict the fundamentals of football, nor truly encapsulates the balance between risk and reward that makes a football simulation rewarding to play. Anthony James aims to improve this by reintroducing balancing, reducing the effects of 1v1 and FCIQ rigidness and their restrictions, as well as improving various areas such as animations, passing and ball physics, as well as player collisions. Let's take a look at what Anthony James has improved in version 2 of his gameplay overhaul. Since EA have removed the gameplay speed settings, we are now locked to one universal pace of the game. This, combined with the fast animation speeds of the players, leads to an unrealistically fast pace. Anthony James has slowed this down, so now players move with a sense of inertia. There's a lot less ninja dribbling and fairy stepping going on. Players turn and move with a sense of weight and considered control. Take a look at the way Leao here dribbles past Bellingham and Valverde without skating along the floor for the player's convenience, nor without the ball being glued to his feet like a magnet. Which brings us onto ball physics. No longer is the ball tethered to players' feet. It is a separate entity which bounces and bobbles as it should, becomes loose in intense situations, and can be knocked a lot further in front if the player sprints too much. One of the more interesting aspects is the amount of variety seen on shooting specifically. Take deflections for example. On the default game, oftentimes blocked and deflected shots will absorb all of the ball's power and energy. However, as demonstrated by Vitinha, it takes a looping deflection off the carver Van Dijk, gathering so much speed not even two Verbruggens can stop it. Even low strikes, as demonstrated by Havertz, don't just skid along the surface. There's a slight lift as Havertz hits it with the laces before finally dipping just beyond the goalkeeper. On the base game, clean and convenient strikes happen all too often. Here, Hwang In-beom desperately tries to get a shot off under the pressure, only for it to bounce in front of Pasveer, who handles an otherwise difficult to read strike pretty well. Here's another nice moment from Gyökeres, perhaps the keeper's vision obstructed by the wall of players in front of him, but a satisfying low ping nonetheless. As we know, a real football is unpredictable. It could bounce and bobble at the most inopportune moments. Budimir does well to make the most of it. The defender here misreads the flight of the pass from Kelly for Russo to pounce onto it, again struggling, disciplining the bouncing ball before unleashing her frustration beyond the Swedish goal. There is even an optional tweak to add more curve to crosses and strikes. Here Sancho tries to pick out Madueke in a beautiful long pass from the AI that is further complemented by the wind effects of the new game. Dipping strikes are also accounted for as Tolisso tries to knuckle one past Rulli. The AI is even considerate of his situation. Barella doesn't just blast this beyond Magnon, instead passes it into the net. And of course, spectacular rising shots are enhanced due to the ball physics tweaks. Passing is something we spend more time doing than anything else in a football game, and while EA have improved this over its predecessor, the distance of passing and the weight of the ball is still not quite accurate. I personally play on full manual passing and shooting, so for me to be able to drill this through pass with Rodgers right between the two defenders and just far enough for Watkins to capitalise on his pace to frustrate the defender into a penalty is such a satisfying feeling. The frustration on the base game comes from the fact that players don't pass the ball into enough space, and rather the ball comes too short, allowing contrived interceptions from defenders. This time, with the expanded distance on the ball trajectory from passing, allows you to freely pass into space and really carve open those defences. the reduction of laser-guided passing even assists greatly in interplay, as Bellingham receives the ball just in front of himself instead of directly to feet. Again, on manual passing, I'm able to anticipate the run of Garnacho and plant the ball just in front of him, instead of having the Argentinian have to suddenly stop to control the pass. Another nice example with Marino. As Saka runs off the shoulder of the defender, I'm able to pass the ball into the space where he needs to be, instead of mindlessly dumping it into the feet of the defender. Positioning is one of the most important areas covered by Anthony in this edition. By default, FC IQ and 1v1 mechanics causes issues such as too much space on the pitch because midfielders and defenders don't track back. This means it's quite easy to mindlessly run the entire pitch with one player with very little obstruction in the way. The gameplay mod improves this by condensing the midfield a lot more. Now defensive midfielders track back and cover in front of the back line. Defences become narrower. And whilst it's not perfect, there's a lot less ball watching and a lot more coverage and run tracking takes place. The attacking side is better balanced too. Now attackers make more supporting runs and overlaps instead of stopping like they hit an invisible wall. This allows for more dynamic attacks as the result of a player anticipating a turnover as demonstrated here. As Japanese Celtic, break out of nowhere against Leipzig, taking advantage of the defender's mistake. Or how about a good old-fashioned give and go? Lukaku passes to McTominay, who draws the defender out, allowing the big Belgian tank engine to run through on goal and unleash some of that trademark power. Long runs are a part of football, and it's better to see them demonstrated in a more organic fashion. Here we see Liverpool turn over the play as West Ham players try to retreat to catch up with the unfolding goal from Mohamed Salah. There's more dynamicism due to the positional changes here, as we see the Wolfsburg players' overloaded press backfire as Frankfurt fail to spring a goal against a run of play. The tighter positional changes also allow for more organic and unpredictable collisions on the pitch. As Lewandowski anticipates a release from Rafinha, he gets tangled up amongst Kumbulla, as the defender attempts and fails to reach the interception in time. Strength and momentum are accounted for a lot more accurately. As Thuram converges on the Arsenal goal, he meets his equal as Gabriel stands his ground. This opens the possibility for more miss kicks from attackers as Undav rushes to fire off a shot, as Gatti steps ahead just enough to throw off the German striker. As agile as Kylian Mbappe is, even he overexerts himself and no longer benefits from perfect balance and positioning for the sake of player convenience. There are some amusing ones like Chris Wood breaking his neck for the greater good of Nottingham Forest's clean sheet, and good old-fashioned kamikaze aerial duels. Players like Kulusevski puts his body on the line to get this ball clear of safety from Manchester United. Due to having more players compacting and closing down their space, it also invites more opportunity for more innocuous and professional fouls. As Sancho regains possession for Chelsea, Ramirez passively tugs him down. The aerial play also sees improvement. It's no longer biased towards defenders. Not only is the AI behaviour improved and they will attempt more crosses, there are more outcomes from scoring from the air, as defenders no longer stubbornly soak up those aerial balls. Corner kicks are no longer absorbed from the near post, and there's great leap from Otamendi, lobbing Manuel Neuer. Another example from Ollie Watkins, as he prods it between the goalkeeper and defender on the goal line. This is due to Anthony's trajectory add-on, which applies a lot more unpredictability to those aerial battles. The tighter positional coverage allows for more interesting, good old-fashioned midfield duels. Just look at the intensity in the heart of Celtic Park, as both teams fight over every blade of grass, eventually drawing the foul. This can be exasperated by Anthony's intense pressing add-on, which creates that feeling that every second on the ball counts, drawing in frustration from defenders and midfielders alike. as well as allowing teams to pounce on complacency from the opposition. And special attention has been brought to them in this gameplay overhaul too. Goalkeepers have been a contentious issue over the last couple of games. Goalkeepers no longer shrivel up like fetuses at strikes aimed directly at them. Often when a player is through on goal, you end up putting the controller down and succumbing to the inevitable goal. Now this time goalkeepers have your back, even coming out to close down attackers instead of sleeping on their goal line, or simply treating us to spectacular theatrical saves like this one by Vicaria, or blistering their hands from thunderous strikes like this one from Cooney Cross. Whilst the gameplay mod is a lot more balanced and fair, there is also a rejuvenation to the AI's creativity and decision making. The AI no longer ping-pong passes or runs mindlessly at defenders, pulling off flawless top corner finishes. They are now bound by the same on-field problematic boundaries as yourself. They are more likely to pass to players in better positions rather than taking them on because the 1v1 dictates they do so. Asensio has all the right to go through on goal and take glory for himself, but he sees Barcola in a better position. Here, Thuram uses his height to his advantage and anticipates a world-class striker like Martinez running into that one spot he needs to be. Of course, what keeps us coming back to a football game is those unpredictable moments of magic. And one of the biggest qualities of this gameplay mod is that no two matches feel the same. And although real-world football may seem more systemic than ever, unpredictability still has a place in football. And with more emphasis being placed on player stats and individuality, what you choose to do, and with who, matters even more. Combined with my choice to play on full manual controls, there truly is a feeling that anything can happen the moment the ball leaves a player's boot. FC 25 is a good game that could be a great game if it wasn't for the restrictions and simplified gameplay imposed on players. We all have our own tastes and opinions regarding realism, but with the vast wealth of combinations and options available in this gameplay mod, there is something for everyone. For those already using the mod and are familiar with how to install it, here is a screenshot of my setup of my gameplay mod and the options used in this video. The link to the gameplay mod is in the description and the pinned comment. I'll be posting a tutorial on how to install the FIFER mod, eSIM, the Road Kit expansion, as well as the Anthony James gameplay mod in the coming days. As always, thank you all for watching.